Hello, welcome back to Lucid Trading. I just barely made it from market open. But yeah, market's now open, and stocks only go up because there's too much money going around. Evergrande default, market don't care. Inflation goes up, market doesn't care. Powell comes out and says that the money printer's going to stop. Markets don't care. There's too much money in the system. Businesses are doing fine. So to everybody that thought that the market was going to crash, it didn't. Markets are recovering a little bit, but keep in mind, there's still a little bit of bearish sentiment. A lot of people are still very, very fearful. If you're wondering why my hair is looking a little bit messy, I biked to the office just a couple seconds ago, and it was raining. So, but yeah. Anyways, good morning to everybody out there. Welcome back to Lucid Trading. Make sure you smash that like button. Let's get to 100 likes. I think we can get there very, very fast. Let me just quickly. There we go. All right. Oh wow! Look at that! Look at that green candle in the markets. Oh, beautiful, gorgeous. Markets can only go up, at least for now. Lots of volume kicking in here on the Nasdaq, by the way. Yeah. Smash that like. Come on. Let's go. Let's get it. Smash that like button. We just made it for market open. It's awesome. Let's take a look at some individual stocks right here. Robinhood going down 2.5%. It's so depressing. Bumble only down about 0.5%. Sheg going green again. ChargePoint is going up about 3.5%. It's going up very fast. Netlist is down, still sitting down. I think Netlist is a buying opportunity. I'm gonna be buying Netlist right now at 4.7. I don't care what anybody says. I'm gonna be buying some Netlist right now if it's still at 4.7 at least. It is over the counter, so. Let's see. Can I get some Netlist? Can we get that going, please? I'm trying to, but oh my god, it is not going through. It is not going through. But I want to get myself some Netlist. It's sitting at 4.7 in the pre-market. It says it's kind of lagging behind the normal timing and whatnot. I'm gonna have to see. But if it's still sitting at 4.7, I think Netlist is an awesome buying opportunity because they are suing some very big companies out there, and they could get rewarded big time because of their intellectual property being used by the names like Google, Samsung, to name a few. All right, let me get some juicy Netlist. See if it's going to go through at all. I think, yeah, it went through. Awesome. Yeah, I bought like $1,000 in Netlist. I don't have that much money right now because I have bought the dip quite heavily, actually, the past 2-3 weeks. So, yeah. But yeah, I think Netlist is pretty great at this price. We're getting a massive discount again. It's I think it's awesome. So, yeah. All right, let's take a look at the other stocks here. The Nasdaq is about to go green, actually. That's kind of fancy, right? Because in the pre-market, it was looking like it was going to go red. That is not the case. NIO is going green, still sitting at 35, and that is despite this bearish sentiment. Palantir, look at that. Palantir is going up 1.1%. Let me take a look at Palantir. It's going above that resistance that we talked about recently, which is just awesome. I believe Lucid is also going down. Yeah, Lucid is down a little bit. I mean, people are buying Lucid like crazy, so I wouldn't be surprised if it just comes back up near term. I want to see if there's anything that I can buy right now that is still sitting super cheap. Anything at all. A lot of things are sitting super cheap, but it's like, it is all relative, of course. It is all relative. Robinhood down almost 3%. Oof. That is kind of painful. I really want to get back into Bumble, but Bumble is sitting at 37. I mean, this thing was, Bumble was sitting at 30 just a couple days ago, right? So it went up almost 30%. I would love to get a little bit of a discount on Bumble. Yeah, so I already have a lot of stock of the stocks that I think are very cheap. So I'm trying to diversify just a little bit. I mean, I'm diversifying in risky stocks. Like, that is not really diversification, but you get what I mean. If you're all in on one risky stock, that is very risky. So within risky stocks, you can diversify in a variety of risky stocks or high multiple stocks, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, so far so good. It does seem like markets are rebounding. You can see right here that the Nasdaq is actually pulling back up. We might see the MACD cross. Look at that daily chart, which is looking kind of interesting. We have CPI tomorrow. Remember, everybody's been saying for the past 2 weeks, oh my God, CPI is going to come. It's going to crash the markets. Did it crash the markets? I mean, we did see a correction 2 weeks ago, or about 2 weeks ago, maybe even 3 weeks ago at this point. I mean, we've had a substantial correction of about 7.5%. To be saying that the market is going to correct again, I mean, we've had 3 corrections in 2 months. I think that's highly unlikely. I think we're just going to keep on rallying until the end of the year. I mean, there are going to be some tiny dips. But I don't think it's going to be severe. I think most of the bearish catalysts are priced in. And I've been saying this for 2 weeks now. Nobody listened. Everybody wanted to panic sell. But yeah, here we are. Nasdaq's still green. How much are we away from all-time highs? I mean, it's 2% or something. How much is the S&P away from all-time highs? 1%, less than 1%. So far, so good for that crash. Yeah, but we still have CPI coming up tomorrow. We might get a little bit of a surprise. It is definitely possible. I just don't think it's going to be that severe. A lot of people thinking that it's going to be the end of the world. Evergrande defaulted and Alibaba's going up. Yes, because Alibaba went down 60 or 65% or something the past year. So the fact that Evergrande is going bankrupt is just I think short term it's a positive thing, because it kind of puts away that uncertainty of when is it ever going to default. So that negative headwind is going to be priced in properly now, and I think it has been priced in with Alibaba and other stocks, Chinese stocks, because we had this just recently. Alibaba went down 35%, and that is on top of that. If we go back to all-time highs, I mean that's on top of the. I think we have to stretch it out a little bit. That's 35% down on top of 40% down. So to say that Alibaba is looking bearish right now after all that downside, that's a little crazy, I think. So, but yeah, who knows? Maybe Alibaba is going to go to zero. Who knows? Maybe people don't like the fact that Alibaba is growing at 20% a year, and they make $31 billion a quarter, and they're still profitable even after all those fines that we had from the Chinese government. I mean, I still believe Alibaba is one of the cheapest companies out there relative to other companies, right? And I think it's going to recover so super fast. It's going to blow people's minds away. I still believe that is going to be the case, regardless of Evergrande going down, regardless of what's happening with the Chinese economy. Alibaba literally had a recession happen to itself. That's a recession kind of downturn. When the stock goes down 60 to 70%, right? We only see that in recessions. Alibaba, imagine this. What if Amazon, let's just imagine this for a second. What if from now until next year, Amazon would go down 60%. Let's just give that example right here. So let's say Amazon goes down 60%. Somewhere like this, right? It would be sitting at 1,255. If Amazon was sitting at 1,255, would you buy Amazon? With the same revenues, the same growth, but the U.S. government is a little angry at Amazon. I would buy. I mean, that's a severe discount. So to say that is it's going to go down to zero or it's going to keep on going down, I think that is maybe overblown. I think that is maybe too much. NEO is going up about 0.7% right now, which is looking pretty interesting here. One moment. Let me just quickly... There we go. Apple. Wow. Damn, I thought Apple was going to correct. It's still heading up right now. It is still heading upwards. Apple is actually a leading indicator. Whenever Apple goes up, the whole market keeps going up. 176.5 on Apple. It is up about 0.8%. I mean, Facebook is now also heading up. I think Facebook is much cheaper than Apple at this point. So yeah, Facebook or Meta platforms, whatever you want to call it, I think is going to do quite nicely here. It's sitting at 333, which I don't think that is too expensive. I think that's pretty doable. 1 sec. There we go. Oh yeah, Tesla was gonna have it split, right? So a lot of people thought that Tesla was gonna do a stock split today. I guess that's not happening because Elon just said recently that he's not gonna do anything on today. Maybe it happens, maybe he's gonna announce that Tesla's gonna do a stock split. I don't think so. I think it was rather unlikely. He said it himself at the annual shareholder meeting. So let me just check. Let me check his Twitter real quick. Yeah, I mean, I don't think he's going to be announcing anything, to be honest. Markets are still going up. Look at that, Nasdaq heading up still. Palantir, look at that. Palantir's having a good time. That is awesome. Palantir up about 1.1%, and it is maintaining these levels, at least for now. Volume is kicking in here, but did sell off like half. What the heck? Why? Oh, that is really fast though. Look at that. It's like a couple minutes, and it's dropping about a percentage point because the Nasdaq dropped pretty fast here as well. Robinhood is still down 3%. It just cannot catch a break, right? What else are we seeing? NEO is coming back down. Lucid is down about 6.2%. Let's see. Are we seeing any... Bumble goes up another 2%. Of course it does, right? I mean, Bumble's a great company, so why shouldn't it be going up? Twitter is going up 5%. ChargePoint is going up 4%. Alibaba's still green. It's the value stocks that are red. Big banks are red. Recovery stocks are kind of red as well. And yeah, overall, I would say it's just the Nasdaq in the green. It's probably because of Apple. Both Apple and Microsoft are up almost 1%. So that's lifting up the market in some sense. And what are we seeing here? Okay, so everything's starting to come down here. At least anything that is not big tech. Because Facebook is clearly still going up. You can see that right here. 334 on Facebook. Heading up higher. About to hit 335. It's, it is one of the Patreon buy and sell signals. It has been for a while. I've been saying that it was a great buy at $300. I think it's going to probably go up another 20 percentage points. Maybe before the year end. But I think it's most likely going to go up about 20 to 30% for that ticker change that we're going to be seeing here for Meta platforms. You can see that the 10-year yield is now actually pulling back. Interestingly enough, 10-year yield is pulling back about 1.8%. Huh. Fascinating. What is happening to Netlist? Netlist is actually rebounding, or at least I don't think the chart is properly updating yet. I think it's rebounding. Yeah, I think it's going to take some time for this one to rebound properly. But when it does, it's going to be vicious. It's going to go up like 50% instantly. Like it always does. Okay. Robinhood is down 3.2% today. I want to see what's happening with C3. C3 down 1.3%. Sheg, look at that. Sheg is going up when the markets are actually relatively negative. Sheg is going up 1.3%, sitting at 29. Interesting. That is fascinating. Yeah, the MACD is crossing. The MACD, whatever you want to call it. I think calling it MACD is just way faster. MACD. Ugh. MACD. The McDonald's. Bumble, 38.4. Still green, right? It's wonderful, I guess. It does look a little elevated short term. Bumble did bounce up like incredibly viciously. About 28% from the bottom. That just poured into Bumble. I expect it to pull back and fill the gap, really. At least initially. Path went down 2% after earnings. Like I said, earnings are going to come around. People do not care. It's going to sell off anyway. That's exactly what happens. Although it did sell off like way more in the after hours. I think UiPath was down about 7-8% in the after hours. Right now, it's only down 3%, so that's pretty mild. BuzzFeed is going up about 2%. Interesting. Nasdaq is bouncing upwards. Palantir is still heading down. Man, it is not having it. How much is Palantir going up? About 11% from the bottom. Of course, I mean, Palantir has a larger market cap than a stock like Bumble, but I'm still surprised that Robinhood is doing so bad. Hold up. What is my opinion on the inflation report? I think it's going to be high. I think inflation is going to be high. But I think everybody knows that inflation is going to be high. Because everybody knows, I think the expectation is going to be that inflation is high. And so it's going to either hit in the expectation or even be below it. And stocks will just keep on going up. Unless it's obviously like way higher than expected. But so far, every single person I have talked to says, yeah, inflation is going to be much higher than last month. So if it's going to be much higher than last month, that is already according to expectation. So it should be priced in already. Or we get like a tiny downturn. Like, oh, we go down 1%. Okay, whatever. Yeah, Twitter is ripping right now. Twitter is going up 4.6%. As we speak. 17% from the bottom. Pretty wild. Yeah, Twitter has a new CEO. I think Jack Dorsey has actually stepped down as CEO. And he is going to be focusing on Square, which Square is going to be renamed Block very soon. And you can see that the stock has come down ever since they said they would be renaming the company. And also they had pretty bad earnings recently. So it's sitting at a market cap of about 89 billion. Let me see if we can quickly check this out. I mean, Square had a market cap of like a third of what we see today, just February 2020, right? And since then, it's just been going parabolic. Like, let's just grab that top that we had right before the pandemic. It's up like huge amounts, even after this 40% downturn. And you know, we're kind of moving away from the pandemic ever so slowly. So, Square might be affected. Yeah. I think if Square ever gets back to like 150 or something, I would start buying this stock, 150-ish. Let's say we get another downturn. That's where I would be buying. I don't really like buying right now. I have a feeling that their revenue streams are actually going down because of COVID dissipating and people pretty much... Wait, hold up. What? Wait, never mind. I thought they made $3.8 billion annually for a moment there. They're making $3.8 billion on a quarterly basis? What? You're kidding me, right? That is insane. That's actually pretty good. I mean, that is not bad, I'll tell you that. Yeah, it is trending down, though, obviously. They benefited from COVID. You can see the massive surge in revenue. Like we're seeing with Peloton and many other stocks that benefited from COVID. Yeah, everything's coming back down. Look at Robinhood just selling off. Oh, my gosh. The selling just does not stop. It's so sad to see. But yeah, Robinhood down another 4%, while Bumble is going up 2.2%. Sheg is in the green. IONQ is up 5%. Twitter, still up, tweeting upwards, 4.5%. Charge point up 3.5%. Most stocks red, right? Aside from big tech. Big tech always green. Big tech can just never go wrong. At least from what I've seen the past couple months, big tech just does not ever go wrong. You have these brief corrections and it just keeps going up. C3 is going down 2.3%, which is pretty mild, given the fact that we had a rally of about 20% recently. We're seeing NEO come down here. Interesting, right? So NEO is now coming down to 34.9, only down about 0.4% though. Tesla's pulling back 2%. Nasdaq still green though. S&P down 0.2%. We have the Dow Jones down almost 0.5%. Russell is pulling back. Usually it is the Russell that pulls back right before a CPI report, because it affects the small cap stocks, I would say, the most. And let's see. Russell is down 0.8%. It's sitting at support though. The Hang Seng Index actually pulled up about a percentage point. That is the reason why we're seeing Alibaba go up and Chinese stocks be relatively green. Baidu is going up 2%, etc. Look at Robinhood. Oh my gosh. Robinhood is still pulling back, down 4.3%. That is interesting. Things are getting kind of wild with Robinhood here. 4.5%. Who is selling this? I am actually very curious. Who is selling this? Who's selling it at like 23? Because that is some selling pressure, right? Yeah, it must be. I still believe it's probably the insiders. They hold like about 31 million shares, and they now have the capacity to just sell. Uh, 22.6. See what is happening with AI. 33. Palantir still green. NEO is now down about 1.2%. Look at that. NEO's pulling back. All the Chinese stocks, or EV stocks, are pulling back. And Lucid is now down about 8.4 percentage points because people are starting to realize they're probably not going to be able to deliver the amount of vehicles that they promised. And even at $40, I'm going to say it again, even at $40, this company is sitting at a market cap of a whopping $67 billion. They have not shown us the capacity that they can deliver vehicles in mass. I don't think they deserve this market cap yet. Robinhood almost down 5%. Jesus. That's all the upside that we've seen is now being just canceled out completely. I am going to buy some Robinhood right now, actually. I'm watching this. I'm like, oh boy. This is another dippity dip. Let me just quickly get some of that going. That's interesting. People don't like Robinhood. People probably shorting it. I'm not seeing that many discounts right now, though. Like, it's not the same as, let's say, a couple days before. Bumble still stuck like at 38, doesn't want to come down, right? It's still up 1%. And there's many stocks like that. Virgin Galactic still at 16, not pulling back. And we're seeing right, so it looks like everything is coming down now, even the Nasdaq, right? So Nasdaq's selling off, S&P selling off, Dow Jones, Russell's coming down even further. That is prior to CPI. which I still don't believe it's going to be something super significant. Although I think what is most likely moving the market, obviously, Evergrande fears, but it's most likely the fact that whenever you see the market go up, what was this, like 6.7% in like 2 days? Almost 9 out of 10 times you see a correction happen. And it's not like, I don't think we're going to sell all the way. I think we might just, correct down 1% or 2%. Consolidate, and then we're heading back up again because we don't have severe bearish catalysts here. Unless inflation is going to be like twice of, last month's inflation. Because the only reason inflation matters here is because the Federal Reserve is going to be acting faster when inflation is going to be higher. And if that is not the case, right, if inflation is lower, then it could be an indication that we're going to get easier monetary policy. With the COVID cases still going rampant, unemployment still being a thing. Bumble's coming down a bit. Twitter still up 4%. Everything going negative here. UiPath down 4%. Robinhood down 4.7%. Okay then. Semiconductors are going red. Neo is down about 1%. I think that's looking pretty interesting. Yeah, people are holding on to that Neo. They're not selling. It should have been down probably maybe 2% or something. Although Li Auto is doing some weird stuff here. Li Auto was up like 4 percentage points, and it's now I think it's sold off like something like 4%, 3.7% ish. Neo is recovering a little bit as markets are actually going down further. Interesting. The dollar is going up again. I mean, the dollar just does not go down. It just keeps going and going and going. It is wild. I think gone are the days that we see the dollar back at like, or DXY at like 90 or something, 92. It's been staying high and it does not go down. That has been the pattern. Yields are going down even further, right? So down 2.7%. Could be because of the Evergrande default that is maybe spiking some fears. And so people are going to the bond market for safety. Cryptocurrencies are selling off. Bitcoin is down 3.9%. Ethereum down 4.6%. Cardano down 4%. And this altcoin that I follow is now at all-time lows. Interesting. Does it continue? That's the question, right? Is this just going to keep on going down? So far, so good. So far, so good, right? I mean, in my opinion, we're sitting at like rock bottom on some of these stocks. Down 50%, 60%, 70%, even down 80% on like C3.ai. It's like, how much lower do you want this to go, right? Until it's like attractive. It's not like yields went up to like 3%. They're sitting at 1.48%. They're not sitting at 3 or 4%. So having all this selling pressure, I think, is still unwarranted for. Let's see. What's happening with the VIX? VIX is... I mean, we covered the VIX back when it was sitting at like 30, and we said that the VIX was going to come down all the way to 20. Well, there you go. It is back to 20. In fact, we also called out that it would be using this support. And guess what it's doing? It's using that support. It's really predictable. So, yeah, VIX probably is going to maybe consolidate a little bit for now, but I don't expect the VIX to be spiking unless we have some more bearish news coming out. Oh, there you go. Neo spiking up. It's going green again. Some stocks are heading back up. Neo is green. Palantir is about to go green. Facebook has been green all the time. It's up about 1%. Google, Amazon, Netflix, and Microsoft still red. And Apple doesn't seem to want to come down here. It is sitting overbought, though. You can see the RSI sitting quite overbought on Apple. MACD is incredibly elevated, but we have seen higher levels. So I would be very cautious if you're holding Apple. It could just come down 5 to 10% like that without any warning. See like a little trend line going on here. I think we're above any kind of trend line at this point. Interesting. It's looking more and more shortable. If Apple reaches 180, I will start shorting Apple. I said I would be shorting it from 170, in that zone of 175 to 180. I mean, we are there right now, but I want to see a little bit more confirmation. I will short it for like 5 or 10%. Maybe leverage up a little bit. Let's see. Why is the chart not loading? That's kind of strange, isn't it? Oh, there you go. Neo is heading back up. And Palantir is green. Robinhood just bounced almost 2% right there. So some buying pressure coming into Robinhood. Bumble is selling off. That's interesting. So Bumble was up like 2.5% as stocks were going down. And now as we're seeing a little bit of a bounce, we're seeing Bumble go down like almost 2 whole percentage points right there. Let me see if we can... Yeah, that's like 1.7% right there. Becoming a little bit cheaper. Virgin Galactic heading up about 0.8%. Nice. Alibaba sitting at 127. Oh, wow. So Alibaba's taking off. Value stocks red. Big banks are red. Semiconductors, obviously, still red. Along with recovery stocks. Apple coming back down a little bit. Facebook is going up. Palantir taking off. That's pretty sweet. Palantir heading up about 0.5%. What are we seeing here on the 1 minute, though, on Palantir? Let's grab the MACD here. We are seeing the MACD cross, so that's kind of positive. We had a bit of a drawdown. That's 2% that it just casually dropped, right? Crazy stuff. And that didn't even take that long. That's like 16 minutes. Yeah, it's a growth stock. All these growth stocks are just incredibly volatile. It looks like we're about to be heading back up to 20. We're getting very close again. And then it drops like it always does. Like right before the resistance. Okay, selling a little bit there. Are we seeing anything interesting out of the ordinary? I don't think so. It's just the same old, same old. Although I have to say there's a lot of strength here for Facebook, right? So a lot of buying pressure. It's going above 334. About to be hitting 335. I think we hit it. We hit it very briefly here. I think 20 minutes ago or something. That is quite impressive. I think Facebook / Meta Platforms is the cheapest big tech stock right now, and I still believe that. Going up about 1.43%. I wouldn't be surprised if today it just goes up like 5%. It hits like 350 or something. We're seeing markets consolidate. Not seeing significant upside. VIX is coming down. Cryptos are actually doing pretty bad. That is something that we're seeing at least. You can see that the MACD is crossing down on Bitcoin. Yeah, leading me to believe that it's most likely to come down further. This does look similar to a time that we've had seen this sort of thing before. If I can just zoom out a little bit, I think it's right here. Yeah, we had this flash crash. We had one here, and then we had another one here. Then we had the recovery was about 30 to 40%, and it just kept going down. So I think we're kind of in a similar situation here. We get a little bit of a flash crash, we get a recovery, but then it just keeps bleeding out anyway. There's just not that many bullish catalysts short term to keep this thing up. Interesting. Back then, what happened is it just came back to the bottom. So essentially coming back all the way. Which means we might get the lower 40,000s again. You know, the MACD is crossing. Let's check the daily chart. Daily chart looking bearish. I'm curious about the weekly chart. Oh, there you go. The weekly MACD has crossed. Last time that happened, we had like a 60 or 70% downturn. So, yeah, I think that is this period of time looks a little similar actually. I would argue that Bitcoin can come down a little lower before we see an actual rebound. We're down like 30%. I mean, I would love to see Bitcoin at like 40K again. I would buy a chunk of it. We seem to have a support around 41, 42,000 on Bitcoin. Andre the Best coming in here with a 25 RON donation. Thank you so much. Andre says, remember we never touched the 20 EMA on the monthly SPY in 550 days. And we are currently 15% above it. Historically, there must be a 15 to 20% correction. Yeah, but like the thing is, historically, the problem is that historically speaking, we never had money printing, 0% interest rates, fiscal policy be this incredibly stimulative, and great earnings, and all these things combined, you know, and I would say moderate to high inflation. All these things combined can create a situation where it's like it's detached from history, right? It is a little detached from what we have seen before. So it's not exactly the same of times in the past. I do agree that at some point when these unique stimulative measures are going to dissipate and going to go away, that we would see markets go down substantially. But I don't think we are there yet. I think we're still getting that stimulus, and it is driving up these market prices. Although right now, obviously, we're seeing a little bit of red. It's incredible, right? Bumble just keeps going up. Look at that. Bumble going up again. 2.2%. Pretty wild, if you ask me. One second. Yeah, the infrastructure bill passed, right? So you got that fiscal policy, you got that monetary policy. You know, all these things combined, it creates an indestructible stock market until we see some negative headwinds, which we haven't really seen yet. Nothing too concerning has happened yet. I don't know why Palantir is just not going up right here. It's a little confusing. It's sitting at a 40 billion market cap. Meanwhile, Snowflake is sitting at a 110 billion market cap. I mean, come on. I think it's a little bit... maybe there's a bit of a bias against Palantir. That could be the case. I mean, thinking about how many institutions own Snowflake. Let me check that. Yeah, so I think about 60% of Snowflake is owned by institutions and whatnot. And Palantir is about 30%. I think there might be a little bit of a bias there. People, maybe political differences. Who knows? Funds that just don't want to buy Palantir. Patrick Lamp coming in here with a $5 donation. Thank you, Patrick. Patrick says, hey, Gara, Path, do you think it's going to go up? Good company. I like it. I like the company. I think they had good earnings. I think what is more likely happening here is it's going down because of the market being kind of risk averse, right? So the market's being a bit risk averse because, Path has a market cap of $24 billion. How much money do they make? They make about close to $1 billion on a yearly basis, and they're still burning money. So it's a risky stock with high multiples, but they're growing fast. They grow about 50% year over year, which is some fast growth, right? I would say as markets become more friendly towards the riskier stocks, which I do think is going to happen, because yields are going to stay low. The thing is, these institutions, they cannot keep buying Apple. It doesn't work that way. At some point, Apple becomes unattractive because it's going to sit at like $200 a share. It's like, why would you buy Apple at that point? Getting too expensive. So there's going to be money going to other stocks at some point. And when that happens, I think Path is going to lift off again. And I think it will lift off strongly. We had a high of about almost $60 at the beginning of November. I think we're going to revisit those highs. Maybe at the end of the year. Could be possible here. So that would be my expectation for Path, to just gradually recover. Because they had good earnings. There's no reason for the company to be staying this low. Unless there is like a rate increase, or the taper is going to accelerate, or something like that. Okay, market's ready to go down again. You can see that the MACD on the Nasdaq is about to cross downwards, which is not boding well for us here. And gold is going down about 0.4%, and the dollar is still sitting pretty high and heading up higher. Look at these green candles, right? 10-year down. Damn, this is getting really wild. EGLD is a cryptocurrency that I follow. Is down just slightly. Okay. Guess that's okay. Robinhood is sitting at 22.86. How much did that bad boy go up? About 11% from the bottom. How much are we down from IPO? One sec. I have a feeling that I did something wrong. There you go. Yeah, so I had I think I removed the price line. I think the price line is actually quite useful. Especially when I'm measuring the percentage downturn or increase. Yeah, still down about 32.6% from the IPO. That's the lower end of that price. If you would consider the fact that it hit 40 on that same day on the IPO, it is down 43 percentage points from IPO, which is pretty wild. Considering that Robinhood had a very bearish IPO because nobody wanted to buy in, I think it's pretty wild that we're still down 40% from that level. I do expect Robinhood to recover very swiftly in the coming days. Sitting at 23. I don't think it's going to stay there for long. In a positive way, I think it's going to go to 28, 27 within the next weeks. And Palantir is going green again. Neos going red. Markets are not bouncing. AI is pulling back further. Oof. Down about 3.7%. Facebook is maintaining these elevated levels, while Apple is actually selling off. So Apple was positive. I think it was up like 1% or something. It is now selling off all that upside. You can see that right here. I think from bottom to top, it was up 1.2%, and it's selling that all off. That buy on BuzzFeed is not paying off yet. Yeah, it's whatever. I mean, I bought a small amount. I was actually curious because I thought that the market cap of BuzzFeed was 300 million, because on Google Finance it said it was 300 million, and on TradingView for a brief moment it said it was 300 million. So I thought, hey, I mean, BuzzFeed makes about 350 million per year. That's their revenues, and they're growing. If it's sitting at 300 million as a market cap, right, and it's still growing, that is pretty cheap. So that's why I bought it. And then later on I realized, oh, okay, it's actually sitting at like 1 billion or something. Made a little bit of a mistake, but thankfully I only bought $200 of BuzzFeed, so it's gonna be fine. Hey, if it goes down another 30% or something, I'll be buying BuzzFeed, right? It looks like it is gonna be coming down here. It's going down pretty fast, actually. Damn, it is going down pretty darn fast. But it was, the general idea was I would buy the stock like a market cap of 300 million, watch it double, and just get the hell out of there. But yeah, that is probably not going to happen at this point. But look at this, right? So if you take a look at the SPAC merger, it is down 50%. And people are saying that the market is going to crash. I'm like, are you kidding me? Stocks are down 50, 60, 70%. And you're saying a market crash is going to happen? Like, no freaking way. At least not short term. It is bound to happen at some point. But PALANTIR is going down again. Down 0.5%. And that is at 19.7, by the way. Which is still a pretty low price. NEO sitting at 34.96. And big tech mostly red, aside from Facebook. Facebook is actually doing quite good. The Nasdaq is consolidating here at around 16.3K. The Russell is doing the same thing, consolidating around 2,250. And the S&P, I mean, look at this. It's going flat on every index. And I think what is happening is that people are waiting for that CPI data. It's pretty obvious. People are waiting for the CPI data, and then they're going to act. So we're going to probably get a big move to the upside or to the downside tomorrow. I think it's probably going to be to the downside. I don't think it's going to last, though. I think it's going to be a sharp downturn, and that's it. And then we just keep on going up regardless. Because people are expecting inflation to be higher. If everybody expects inflation to be higher, then it's not going to affect the market as much. That's the psychology of the market. Robinhood 23. Yeah, I would say still, I would say Bumble at 38 is less attractive now. I would have bought it at 36, 37. It's sitting at 38 now. I would not say it's a super nice buy. I still like Sheg at 28.7. I still like, Twitter went up. I guess I like Robinhood at 23. I still like Virgin Galactic at 16. There's some of these stocks that are just still sitting quite low. Netlist, right? Oh my gosh, right. Netlist sitting at 4.88. Down like, from recent highs, down like 42%. Looking pretty good to me. Alibaba still sitting at 126, which is still pretty low. And we have, Facebook 330, AI sitting at 32.6, Palantir 19.7. These are still very much discounted, including NEO. NEO is going to have an event coming up, NEO Day. Last year, we saw NEO go up like 80%. Oh, wait, I think it was 60%. Sorry. About 60 percentage points for NEO Day, which might happen again. I'm not going to promise anything, but... Oh, Bumble selling? I guess if Bumble gets back to like 36, that would be considered a buy. But it's just, we're hitting resistance. The stock already went up like 28%. I would much rather wait a little bit and see if it can calm down. I don't mind missing out on this train, right? Let's say it goes back to like 40, like, oh, fine, whatever. I'm holding stocks that are also going to go up like 10%. Yeah, it's still looking tough, especially on the EV stocks. And I think most of the EV stocks are reacting to Tesla because remember, Tesla is, or at least a lot of people thought that Tesla was going to be or announcing a stock split. You know, Elon Musk would announce a stock split today. And now that is not happening. At least people think it's not going to be happening. Tesla stock is coming back down. I mean, there's still a tiny chance. There is a tiny chance that we're going to see a stock split. I just think the chance is low now because we would have probably already seen a message from Elon Musk, which, if you know, he has not really messaged anything today. If we can take a look at that. Yeah, he is online. I mean, he has been messaging and tweeting. So maybe after market close, who knows? I don't think there's going to be a stock split, though. Probably not. If anything, it looks like Tesla might actually sell off because we still have a lot of time left until the next big catalyst, which is Q4 deliveries at the end of the month. So we could see another week of selling pressure as we have CPI coming up tomorrow, and that could really shake up the market short term. And yeah, the Hertz order was not, it wasn't signed. There was no contract. So that being the case, why is the stock sitting at 1,044 still? Because people want to hold it. People want to buy it. It's a very emotional thing. People want to hold Tesla, regardless of like negative news or anything. But then as soon as you have like several negative things, like, oh, the stock split is not happening, the Hertz deal didn't go through completely, and who knows, maybe we get another accident or something happens, like a recall, that's when the stock then just plummets like 5 or 10%. And that's kind of what I've been warning for. When it hit $1,200, I was screaming out my lungs. I was like, guys, this thing is going to fall down. And I've been saying that since like 900, obviously, maybe too early. But yeah, who would have seen that Hertz deal coming? The Hertz deal really pushed up the stock above 1,000. If it wasn't for that Hertz deal, I don't think it would have ever gotten up to above $1,000 so fast. But here we are, Tesla sitting at 1,044. No stock split. I think the stock is going to go down. Lucid dilution is coming. Oh yeah, there were some. They were coming out with like $1.7 billion of senior notes on Lucid, right? So yeah, Lucid is. I have said it. I had said this several times. They're gonna dilute the shareholders. There is no freaking way that they're not gonna do that. Why wouldn't they? Really, why would Lucid not do that? They got the incentive, They're sitting at a market cap of $67 billion. They're not worth that much. They know they're not worth that much. Not short term, at least. Maybe in 5 years or something, when they're actually delivering cars. At least a lot of cars. Like, who knows? According to their own projections, they're going to be scaling up faster than Tesla back in the day, which I don't think they're going to be able to do that. Shag green. Bumble is still green. Ooh, GGPI down 3 percentage points. That is kind of painful. Wasn't CPI at 8:30 a.m.? Yeah, we are going to be covering the CPI tomorrow at 8:30 a.m. Eastern time. So do make sure you tune in for that. I think that's going to be pretty wild. Look at that. Facebook still up 1.2% as other big tech companies are actually still pulling back. Palantir is now down almost 1%. Neo is down almost 1%. Bumble still green though, for some reason. Twitter's going down 1%. You know, everything is coming down now, with the Nasdaq down almost 0.5%, and pretty much everything coming down. You know, the S&P is crossing, you know, MACD is crossing here. That is bearish. That could mean we're going to see more downside. Same for the Nasdaq, about to be happening here. Russell's already crossing to the downside. NEO is down 0.9%. Palantir is also dropping fast. And keep in mind, look at this. From top to bottom, Palantir is down 2.6%. Robinhood down something like 4% right now. How low is Bitcoin going to go? Somebody is asking. It could go like another 20% down. You know, worst case. Worst case, we see another 20% down. We'll do, no, wait, 15%, sorry. Not 20%. Something like that. Back to like 42K. But yeah, it looks like Bitcoin is going to keep on falling here, along with Ethereum and Cardano and everything else. So far, so good. Nasdaq still bleeding, down 0.5%. Dow Jones, like a miracle, right? Dow Jones is recovering as the Nasdaq is bleeding. You can see that right here. It's about 0.3 percentage points. So yeah, the Dow Jones is recovering as we're seeing the opposite happen for the Nasdaq. Nasdaq sells off, Dow Jones goes up. Let's see what's happening with the value stocks. Oh, Procter & Gamble starting to go green. Big spike right there. Where's that capital coming from? Verizon is seeing some green candles. Coca-Cola. Chevron. Big spike there. And big banks are seeing the same kind of treatment. We're not seeing anything crazy yet, though. Like, this is like, all right, you know, stocks are down a couple percent or up a couple percent, so whatever. We're not seeing some like 10-20% downturns or 10-20% moves to the upside, which we are used to seeing when stocks are this low. We are used to see, at least initially, a downturn of about 10-20% in some stocks, and then an upswing of similar amounts. But we haven't gotten that yet. It's been a slow move to the upside on many of these companies. For me, that's an indication that there's just there's not an appetite for risk, at least for the time being. I mean, Palantir just sold off 2% again in a record time, like 20 minutes. NEO's down a percentage point. Nasdaq continues to sell. Let me check the 1 hour chart. We are going to go close to that support. But yeah, like I said before, you know, looking at the 4 hour chart, we had an elevation, and the MACD is about to cross, and I think we're already seeing that with the S&P and the Russell. So we're about to see that here with the Nasdaq as well. And the Russell's already down 1%, right? So the Russell is kind of selling off. Which is crazy, right? The Russell has been just going sideways, basically, for the longest time. Let me just see how long that was. Yeah, almost a year. So about a month and a half left. We could say that the Russell's just been going sideways for a year. And it's because of this elevated move that we had here. You know, it went up 50% initially, and then just kind of went sideways. That's kind of normal, I think. Yeah, it's getting worse. Look at that. Nasdaq pulling back further now. Let me see if I can get back to the 30-minute chart. And let's just use this horizontal ray. Looks like we're going to go back to the 16,250s. Robinhood down again, 4.4%. Look at BuzzFeed. BuzzFeed down 8 percentage points. Damn, that is just wild. Sheg is going negative. GGPI down 3.7%. Beyond Meat, CRISPR going negative, down 3 percentage points. SoFi down 3%. Just red across the board. Red across the board. Palantir is getting close to going positive again. Interesting. One sec. I just got called to by like a random number. Holy moly, that was really really weird. Oh well. Right. Fascinating. Some so depressing, man. I mean, these growth stocks. Virgin Galactic still sitting at 16. And I think it's about to go below that level of 15.9, which is kind of interesting. Oh, oops, my hair. Damn it. Let's check the indices. Indices still kind of bleeding, but I mean it does make sense, right? We had a pretty elevated move, very elevated move on the Nasdaq, which you can see right here. And whenever you see a move like that, it usually doesn't just like keep going and back to back. You see some kind of correction, some consolidation, and then you get the extension. But I do think we're going to break this resistance. We're going to go above to maybe 17K. Looks like that is going to be the next level. If we can quickly grab that trend line. Maybe even higher than that, right? 17.2, 17.3. Could be the case. There's still a lot of capital on the sidelines. And I would argue that a lot of companies are sitting at lows, right? All-time lows. 52-week lows, and they're not exactly sitting very expensive. Not exactly sitting expensive relative to the yields. Yields haven't gone up really. Yields are still sitting at like 1.47. I mean, that is not very high. And it's going down. 3.4%. I mean, you'd expect growth to be rallying right now, but that is not the case. We're seeing risk aversion in the markets just across the board. We had a little bit of an upswing, and that's it. Are we got selling again? Imagine just buying Robinhood, right? So I think a couple unlucky people bought Robinhood like 85. You'd be down 73% right now. Damn. That was one crazy rally that we had seen here. Sheg is green, Bumble's going down. Okay. Whenever the market goes upwards, or at least bounces a little, then we see Bumble actually come down. Aren't we? I mean, PALANTIR is doing relatively okay. Let's see. Resistance of 21.3. I think this could turn around at the end of the day. I think that's quite likely, actually, that we get a turnaround. C3.ai is now coming down 5%. Jeez. That's quite a bit. And what else are we seeing? Selling continues. Nasdaq is pulling back. Apple only down 0.4% after all that upside. You know, it basically went up 10% in 5 days. And it's only down 0.5%. Yeah, Microsoft had like a 9% downturn right here. But it bounced back up. NEO down 1.5%. Markets are pulling back even further. We're heading back to the support line, which is around 16,250. You can see that right here. Robinhood down 4.4%. Virgin Galactic down 2%. Oh, there we go. Nasdaq down 0.7 percentage points. VIX is starting to climb. And we're heading down all the way. NEO down 1.5%. PALANTIR down 0.9%. Oh, Tesla. Look at that. Tesla's down 3 percentage points. Lucid down almost 10%. Okay. Rivian down 3%. I think of all the EV companies here, I would much rather probably buy NEO or GGPI at the current price. Look at that. Nasdaq still pulling. Bumble's going negative now. Shed going negative. BuzzFeed sitting at 6.8. Netlist is actually holding up. Netlist is holding up there, from what I'm seeing. At 4.9. Oh, look at that. We're going all the way back now. Look at that. Nasdaq down 0.76%. Meanwhile, Dow Jones is doing just fine. Okay, we hit the support. And it looks like we might be bouncing off of it. that might be the case here. Let me see if we can zoom out a little bit. You can see that right here. We hit the support zone, and this could be a potential bounce. Although I look at the, oh wow, Robinhood down 4.5%. It's going down 4.7%. It just keeps on going down. Yesterday we had a nice rally at the end of the day. I think institutions started buying big time. BuzzFeed is down another 11.2 or 11.2%, which is pretty wild. Let me check the market cap. Wow, that is wild. Looks like it's just getting started. Baba is going negative here, and we're seeing a lot of red. Facebook, even Facebook giving back its gains. Everything is going red now. Pretty much everything. There is, I don't think there's anything being spared at the moment. Bumble is down 0.5%. I want to buy some Bumble, but just I'm waiting for that one to come down a bit more. Just a little bit more. Palantir is still doing okay. AI, look at that. C3 is going down 5%. That's at 34. Which, keep in mind, it actually rallied up yesterday because there was a rumor going around that it could have gotten acquired. Hold up. Meet Kevin grabbed $1 million with a Robinhood over the last 2 days. I mean, it doesn't really surprise me. It doesn't surprise me that he bought. It's sitting at a very attractive price. Pounds are heading up. Look at NEO. NEO's just casually sitting below 35. Unbelievable. So many discounts still. In so many stocks. I want this bad boy to just come back to 36. But it doesn't. It's staying at 37.4. At 36, you would get like a 6% gain just getting back to 38. Virgin Galactic also pulling back 2.4%. Indices are still looking fine, not down that much. ARK is going down 2.8%. We had a bit of a rally on ARK the past couple days. We're now kind of going the other direction. VIX up 3%, dollar up slightly. 10-year yield is down 3.4%. Cryptos all negative. All of them negative. The pounds are sitting at support, so it's doing quite okay. Everything is just sitting still. I guess there's a reason that the volatility index is going down, but everything is maintaining support levels quite neatly. Although Lucid is coming down a lot. It's sitting at 40 now, which I would not be surprised. I would not be surprised at all if it would go back to 30. See, there I would consider it maybe a buying opportunity, but at this point, it's like, no way. They have not shown us that they're able to manufacture and sell massive amounts of vehicles. But they're already assuming that they can. They just haven't proven themselves yet. At least not yet. Oh, Bumble coming down a bit more. Look at that. Sweet. 37.3. And the index is actually heading back up. So that might be because of big tech. Because you see, Apple's going back up. Facebook is going back up. So whenever we see the actual index go up, it's most likely because of big tech. It's not because of growth stocks. You can see that the Russell's still down 1.1%. But the Nasdaq is going higher. Let me check the 1 minute on Bumble. Yeah, look at that. Buying pressure. Damn. I want the stock to get back to 36 before I start buying. Oh, PALANTIR is going below support now. Sitting at 19.6, down a percentage point. AI down 5.4%. Everything selling off. NEO, XBank, you name it. Everything is selling off, which is fine. I still think it's a good thing. The more selling, the better. It gives us an opportunity to buy cheap. Yeah, this is gonna stay like this for a while. I don't think we're gonna see any differences. Today is just gonna be a bad day. Sometimes you just have to accept it. We might see a bit of a rebound at the end of the day, but we're just kind of selling off from all the buying pressure that we had for the past couple days. You can see, stocks like Virgin Galactic went up like 20%. Of course, it's going to come down a little bit. It doesn't just... We don't see stocks just go up like this without corrections. What's happening to Netlist? Oh, Netlist is actually going up. Okay, then. That's interesting. We're seeing the green candles here after we hit the support level on the Nasdaq, which is right around here. 3% up, 2% down. Wow. Okay then. Markets are still bleeding. Same old, same old. Nothing changing, right? So we're not seeing a lot of differences here. Same prices. Things are staying flat because the VIX is going down, and it's still, relatively low in comparison to the past 2 weeks. So many stocks are just not really doing a whole lot, other than slowly bleeding down because of the past couple days being so bullish, right? A stock like Bumble has gone up like 28%. So when a stock goes up 28%, I mean, it could go up more if there's like a catalyst or something. But usually you see a correction. Usually you see some downside. Now we're seeing that downside come in here for many of these companies. I don't think this is going to result into, going down all the way. It's just a little bit of downside. So far, so good. Anything that is really cheap. I guess Neo's getting pretty cheap right here. At this little bottom zone, right? So around 34.5. If it breaches this level, it's going to go down more, though. But PALANTIR down 1.3%. So from top to bottom, it's down about 3 percentage points. Bumble's also still bleeding out. Interesting. Oh, is Lucid about to go below 40 now? Oh boy. Well, we're getting pretty close. See, that would be interesting. Lucid below 40. When was the last time? I think it was right here. It hit 38. The 6th of December. Really? Did that really happen? Okay. 38. Yeah, we're probably going to go back there. At least that's what I think. Unless like a miracle happens for Tesla. Because if, let's say Tesla's going to announce a stock split, that's going to be a big bullish headwind for, or tailwind, sorry. Big tailwind for all the EV companies out there. Bumble does not want to go down more. Sad. That's what I'm seeing here. Yeah, we're not seeing anything strange to the upside or to the downside. This sort of all makes sense, right? We're seeing some consolidation, a little bit of downside. Nothing to be worried about. Tomorrow is going to be an interesting day with the CPI report, right? I think we could see something pretty big come out of that, to the upside or to the downside. But I don't think there's going to be like any kind of crash. So many people think that like markets are just going to go down 20% because of a CPI report. That is not going to happen. Worst case scenario, we go down 2 to 3% on the indices. It's like, okay, so what? Like that doesn't really matter because if we get any rebound, which we probably will, historically speaking, markets do pretty well when there's monetary support, fiscal support, companies are doing well, there's a little bit of inflation. We don't see markets go down that much when that happens. until that stimulus is going to be taken away. Hood still down 4.2%. Okay. Wild. And what else? Palantir down 1.2%. C3 down 5.3%. Neo down 1.4%. Lucid 10%. Nano Dimension and BNGO both are selling off. Semiconductor selling off. Wowza. All right, I think we're going to be wrapping this up. There's not a whole lot happening here. Markets are just consolidating a little bit. You know, went down a little bit, consolidating a little bit. Not a whole lot happening. VIX is coming down. I think tomorrow's going to be a bit more interesting than today. But I think what we're most likely seeing here is there's a bit of fear around Evergrande. And there is the CPI fear, like, oh, what if inflation is higher and we're going to get rates going up? But it's mostly also, like I said before, you know, markets went up significantly in just a very short time period, right? Very, very short time period. We had this massive green candle. You know, the Nasdaq went up 5.6% in a couple days. So it's very normal to see a little bit of consolidation, a little bit of downside. I don't think it's going to last long. I think next week we're probably just going to see an extension to the rally. If everything with the FOMC goes well, because that's going to be Wednesday, so next Wednesday. So, yeah. It's time to wrap this up then. Once again, I'm live every single day from Monday till Friday. 8:45 a.m. till 10:30 a.m. for market open. And 3 p.m. to 4 p.m. That's for market close. Obviously, this is an Eastern time, so keep that in mind. So make sure you hit that like and you subscribe and hit that notification bell so you can be there for the next stream, which is going to be in a couple hours. Check out the social media. We have a Twitter, we have an Instagram, a Discord community. We also have a Patreon, and there's obviously more links down below. So check that. Links are down below in the description. So far, so good. I think markets are going to do pretty well in the coming days, coming weeks. We're going to get a little bit of downside here, a little bit of an opportunity again in many of these companies that are down 60%, 70%, 80%. Huge discounts. All right. Have a good one. Have a great one. We will be back in about 3 hours. So I'll see you soon.